What is going on, everyone? We are here for week 2 of the MX5 Fanatec Rookie Track Guide series. This week we are at Okayama Short. It should be a good little race track here. So obviously free content for iRacing to start, and it's very fast and flowing the way you actually drive the car around here. So looking forward to sort of deep diving into this guide with you. Obviously week 2 for me in the MX5 now, and I've actually been quite enjoying it. The car definitely has some pretty cool traits about it, some traits that are probably hard when you're beginning to learn, but if you can get comfortable with the car moving around a bit, it's definitely going to help you progress later on down the track with other cars. So yeah, looking forward to getting into this with you. So really appreciate everybody that's been reaching out, liking the videos, subscribing to the channel. It's been really cool to see lately, guys, so thank you very much for that. Also thank you to everybody that's tuned in for the From the Beginning series. Hopefully that's giving you guys a little bit more input. We've got some really cool things that we're bringing out this week for it as well. So a couple of little battle pack ideas just to help you guys practice racecraft and that sort of stuff as well. So without further ado, let's kick into the MX5 at Okayama Short. Alright guys, so now we're going to break down the lap. So as we're coming down into turn 1, you want to be as far to the left hand side as possible, and you're looking for the blue pit cone, right? So we're just going to stop a little bit before it, just so you can see it right there. So it's a very deep braking zone in these cars. You'll be 4th gear on the front straight, and then you want to brake at this point right here. So as you can tell, it's very deep into the corner, right? So 4th gear, back to 2nd gear, keep the car as close to the white line as possible until we get to this flag marshal hut here. Soon as we pass the flag marshal hut, you want to take a really big sweeping turn at the corner. So once we get to this point here, start to turn the car at the corner, right? As we turn the car at the corner, you'll be actually surprised at how much curb you can use on the inside here. So you want to get 2 tyres up on this sandy bit here, so that, and you sort of want to be nearly in line with the orange square on that tyre wall over there as you sort of apex, if that makes sense. So not quite in line, but it's very close to you, like center screen. So from that point, you're flowing the car through. There's a lot of trail brake into the corner. Once you get to that curb, get up on the curb, you need to be applying the throttle. Now, as you come off of this curb, there has a tendency for the car to just ever so slightly snap on the exit. So you need to be prepared for that, because obviously the corner speed we're carrying in these cars, they do tend to move around quite a bit. So we are throwing the car around a little bit. So just be prepared on the exit. The car will slide a little bit, so you might need to open the steering to catch it slightly. You want to let the car run all the way out to the escape road, or to the end of the edge of the road. Even right up on this green thing, you'll see I've actually dropped the tyre off once or twice. It hasn't really slowed me down because of the corner speed I'm able to carry. And then you start to head back this way. Now, I shift to 3rd at this point just here. So you could hold 2nd, rev it out, but the amount of speed that I'm carrying into the corner, I'm finding third is better. So I shift to third, right? And then what we're doing is we're looking for just here in the corner of my screen, you can see the start of the green curb. So that is I guess you could say the brake marker, but it's also sort of like the turning point as well. So as you can see, I'm already starting to come off the white line on the left hand side here, and I'm starting to angle the car towards the start of the tyre bundle in the slip road here. So, and then what you want to do is as you get to that brake marker, so as we come here, you'll see the car's drifting more and more. This is your brake marker right here. So then from this point here, you sort of see that I'm in line with the second white bundle. So the first white bundle of tyres, the second bundle along. So I'm coming in at this angle, right? I want to sort of clip the apex on the way in. You don't have to clip the curb, but you got to be as close to the curb as possible, right? And then once you get to there, you'll see I'm putting a little bit more steering into it now, and the car's going to drift, and I want the car to drift to mid-track, so to about this point here, right? And I find that once you sort of get the car straight, you want to be in line with the last cone. So see how that sort of just gives you a sort of perspective of how wide I am into the corner. And then what you'll see is I sacrifice a little tiny bit here. So as I turn back in, I get up on the curb, use all the curb on the inside, and I stay to the right hand side through here. Because what I want to do is, so I don't, and I don't follow the white line around. I'm still moving towards the left, but as you can tell, there's another car width to the left I could go and carry more speed into that corner if I wanted to. But all it does is tighten up this next part of the corner. So what you're doing is you're corner sacrificing. So you're sacrificing the exit of that corner that we've just gone through to actually open up the entry to exit of this corner to really carry the speed through. So then you want to start to turn the car back at the corner. Now you want to sort of get to the apex when you're in line with the last sort of, I don't know if it looks like a white tent, so maybe it's like a pit garage for tyres or something like that. So you see how I'm sort of clipping the apex right at the sort of the end of the last tent in front of us. Then from that point there, still in second through here, carry all the speed out, use all the escape curb, up to third gear. And then as you're coming up, you want to stay to the right hand side, right? And it's tricky here because 50-meter board doesn't actually cut it. It's about 45 to 40 meters. So I'm actually braking at this pole just past the 50 meters. So see how there's, I'll just go back a little tiny bit. So you got the 50 meters, then you got this sort of normal looking pole, and then the next pole's got like the fence attachments to it. That's with the extra crossbeam. That's the sort of brake marker I'm using for here. So third gear, nice big brake pressure right here at this part of the corner. Third back to second. Now as you're coming down second, it's really complicated here to turn in. So what I like to do is about a car length before the little escape road that starts. That's where I start to turn the car at the corner, right? So I start to turn it in. You can see I'm sort of missing the curb on the entry bar. And then I want to wrap the car around and I want to clip the curb at this point right here. Now, to signify what that point is, let's just move to there, and you'll see there's a little red like safety sign in Japanese there. So that is sort of like your clipping point for your apex at this first hairpin. So you're quite deep into the corner. You can also use directly in front with the flag marshal hut. You want to sort of clip it when you get to this hut here. And then the car's going to slide off the apex in second. It does feel quite sluggish here, so you just got to watch it. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can do. I've got a very unique line through here. I stay to the right-hand side coming out of that first hairpin, and I actually hold it tight going into the next one. Now, there's two reasons for that, and I'll get to that in a second. The other way you can do is try not to push so much off the exit, set mid-track, and then head back towards the left to open up the next hairpin. Now, it depends on a couple of things here. So you could either come back across here or you could stay tight. I stay tight because I go back to first gear here, and I'll explain why in a second. You can hold second through here, There's there's not much of a difference on your entry to mid corner. The going back to first will give you a lot more oversteer on the entry, so you need to watch that. So if you watch my hot lap, you'll actually see I drive quite deep into the hairpin, and I'm already rotating before I knock it back to first gear. Now the reason I knock it back to first gear is once I actually get to this point here, so you turn in, you stay nice and tight through here, right? And then once you get to the end of this point here, so we're in line with, you see there's that little Armco barrier, and if I just accelerate forward a little bit, you'll see that's the end of it. That's the point there where you want to be on the throttle coming out. Now the reason I use first gear is because I don't know if you can see it, but it is uphill slightly this corner. So coming out ever so slightly, it's not a lot, but it's just enough to be noticeable, right? I find with second gear, the car just bogs down ever so slightly, and I really want to focus on that drive up the hill. So by just going back to first, it just gives you a little bit more drive to actually really get up that hill nice and quickly, and then you go back to second. So use all the track on the exit, open the corner right up, back to second, back to third, and then as you turn in, right, I want to put two tires. I turn in quite late here, but I want to get two tires over the back of the curb, but inside that yellow line. If you go any further than that, you will get an off track or a black flag, but you want to use all that track as much as possible. It will bounce the car over the corner. It'll feel unnatural. You'll probably slide out and hit the fence and the sand a couple of times getting used to it. But when you've actually got it dialed in, it is much faster to sort of cut that corner quite a bit. So, and then as you come off, the car's going to land about this point here. You're still in third gear. You're going to let the car roll right to the edge of the road on the left. And then as soon as you get that car to square up, so at this point here, and I'll just go back a little tiny bit so you can see it. So you see the end of the green little, like, I guess it's like a little bit of corrugated curb. Once you get past that point, so right at this point here, you can see nice big brake pressure, third gear, back to second gear. And then once you get to the end of this little dead bit of grass and it's like the sand turns back to grass, so at this point here, you turn the car in at the corner. And you don't want to clip in too early, so you actually want to clip just in line with this house. So you want to hit the curb and use quite a bit of curb. I'm not rested on the curb at the moment, but as you can tell, like, you want to use all that curb, and then from that point there, as soon as you touch that curb, you need to be at 100% throttle, straight hard on that throttle out. The car is going to give you quite a bit of understeer here. Now the trick is to use all the track on the exit without actually getting on the sand. So you can use all of this comfortably. You step it past that mark, you're going to slow yourself down automatically. So make sure you use all the track, and then I don't actually come back on the circuit till the end of the curb. So at this point here, I come back on near the DRS board. So, and there you go, guys. That is your walkthrough lap of Okayama Short for the Rookie MX5 track guide for this week's week 2 of racing. I hope this has helped you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys are progressing over the weeks, and we will see you next week for week 3. Make sure you keep in tune as well for the next From the Beginning series video coming out on Sunday. Thanks, guys.